Hi, my name is Alvin. A year ago, my wife delivered a baby boy, and immediately, I left her. My wife seemed to be exquisite to me earlier. During her pregnancy, she gained a lot of weight, but I ignored it, thinking that after delivering a baby, she will be normal. But even after 6 months, she was overweight. She had stretch marks on her stomach and a gray hair on her head. She was wearing tasteless and old clothes. So one day I told her straight away, "You stop being attractive to me. I don't want to live with someone like you anymore." I left my wife and son behind and started living alone. A month after, I started dating a young and attractive woman named Juliet. I spent most of the time with her. I went on a tour to different places along with her. I started spending a lot of money on her because I liked her very much. I loved fulfilling all her wishes and demands. I even gave her my credit and debit cards, digital banking ID, and passwords. Everything was going very smooth. After a month or two, I started getting huge EMI. Half of my earned income was spent on paying bills, and a half on Juliet's unnecessary demands. And for my livelihood, I broke all my savings. Soon after, the organization where I was working had a downfall, so the number of staff were removed. Unfortunately, I was one of them. I was disheartened and went to Juliet immediately. I was helpless and ran out of money, but during such a bad phase, she just left me alone. "I don't want to live with someone like you anymore," she said. I was feeling isolated, which made me call my ex-wife. Her housemaid received the call and informed me that my son is sick and admitted to the hospital, and my wife is along with him. In a rush to reach the hospital, she has forgotten her mobile phone at home. Listening to it, I immediately went to the hospital. When I saw my ex-wife, I realized why she seemed neglected to me. Gray hair from worrying about the whole family. Stretch marks result from our first son being born. She gained weight because she was busy keeping the house healthy. She had no time for herself. She committed herself fully to the family. We have always been a top priority for her. I started visiting our son in the hospital every day. I felt regretful for betraying my family. How marvelous it is to have a family. I wanted to fix everything. I waited for a month until my son got well. Then I asked my ex-wife to meet me in the park. When we met, I was surprised to see her as she had turned into a real beauty. Though she has always been a real beauty, I never noticed it. I realized that I still love her and wanted her back in my life desperately. I was happy and excited to get her back in my life. I apologized and convinced her to come back, but I was late. She had another man in her life. She deserves to have a great man who will always keep her and my son happy. I regret very much for leaving my family when they needed me. If you also have such experiences in the past, you can share it in the comments section below. Hit the like button if you like my story. Subscribe to this channel to watch more such videos, and press the bell icon for more updates.
Hey y'all, my name is Sarah, and I am 27 years old. I work as a business analyst in an IT company. At the company's annual conference, I got introduced to Godwin. Yes, I was fascinated by him, but I didn't think about it because he lived in another city, and a long-distance relationship was something that has never worked out for me. Just a few months later, we met again, and this time, we were both selected for the same project and would work in my office for 3 weeks. We both were good at work, and our bonding was going great. We both had an exciting time working together on the same project. After a few days, even before I opened my laptop, he was at my desk. It was then that I first felt that he too was attracted to me. Then we started having coffee together, and also went to dinner after work. Not too long enough, we had gotten infatuated towards each other. We went for a road trip on the weekend, and that's when we got physically attracted. We both ended up falling in love with each other, and we formally started dating one another. My life seemed to be delighted because I had the perfect job and amazing new boyfriend. Even though I knew that he would soon leave for his hometown, but somehow I was convinced we could sustain a long-distance relationship very well. And then, a few days before he was scheduled to fly out, he revealed his biggest truth that he had hidden until now. I became aware that he has been married for 2 years. although Godwin wasn't happy in his marriage. I was left wrecked and felt completely cheated. How could he hide such a big thing away from me? He being married made me crazy, and I had to end everything with him. His project came to an end and he returned to his hometown. I went back to my usual pattern of working day and night, putting in all my focus on work, as I tried hard to forget all the wonderful moments shared with him. A few days later, he called me. I didn't want to speak to him, but the moment I heard his voice, I could tell he was very drunk. So I didn't disconnect the call. He told me why he hadn't mentioned his marital status. He thought I wouldn't be interested in him if I knew he was married. I have to admit, that was the truth. Honestly, I didn't want to start anything new again with him. He was married. He was another woman's husband, and I was just the other woman. Still, I somehow found a reason to give our relationship another chance. He told me that soon he will give divorce to his wife, and I believed him. I was skeptical, and there are examples of men who have lied about leaving their wives and never did. But I was blinded by my feelings for him. And my love for him was infinite, and I couldn't stop myself going towards him. Now the extramarital affair started. He would lie to his wife about work trips and visit me, and every time he would visit, it was such a special moment. I would never fail to ask him the question of when he would leave his wife. But all he did was to make excuses upon excuses. I didn't want our relationship to be hidden. I hadn't introduced him to my friends or family, and that bothered me so much. Things went on the same way for a year. He kept on with lying to his wife, just come to see and meet me occasionally. Gradually, I started getting used to the habit of staying without him, that when he wasn't around, I would be busy working. It got to the extent that I had almost forgotten that I was in an extramarital relationship with someone. Then, after a few months, I started feeling that it doesn't bother me so much if Godwin is not around. Even when I call him someday, he remains busy and never answers my call. Most of the time, I really needed someone very close to me. He wasn't there at such times. That was the time I met Alvin. He had just joined the company where I was working and was interested in me. He wasn't married, so no sooner I started liking him and we started dating. I thought, if he could have a wife, why couldn't I have another boyfriend without telling him? Days passed on and my relationship with Alvin was going very smooth. Godwin existence or inexistence didn't bother me so much because I knew what I wanted. I dumped Godwin and decided to spend my entire life with Alvin.
Hello there. My name's Andrew, and I'm 18 years old. I'm fair, smart, and loved by everyone in my college. Girls have a crush on me. During my school days, I was popular for being a topper in studies and other curricular activities. In my list of friends, the number of girls was more as compared to boys. I was sincere in studies during my school hours. After school, I used to go to football practice and then hang around with my friends. Before the day would end, I would return back to my home and join my parents for dinner. From all of my friends, there was one of my girlfriends named Macy, who was very close to me. After dinner, I would daily talk to her. We'd keep chatting and talking late hours until midnight. My life was happening and it was full-on busy. Years passed by and I was promoted to class 10th. All my teachers had good expectations of me, as I was giving most of my time to my studies. Lecture after lecture, I kept on studying. I even started skipping my lunch breaks. I was very serious for my 10th examinations, and so after school, I started sitting in my school library for studying, skipping my football practice. This continued for a few months. One day, I was parking my bicycle, and a guy came to me and asked, "Do you know Macy?" I was watching him confused and wondering why he was asking me about Macy, and how does he know her? I replied, "Yes, I know her, but who are you to ask me all these questions?" He said that he was her brother. Brother? Macy has a brother? But I don't remember Macy having any brother. She never told me about her brother. He kept on talking about her and said she's suffering from some disease. that she's hospitalized and treatment is ongoing. Finally, he uttered that Macy is sick and will not be coming back to school. I decided to meet Macy after school, but by the end of the day, I forget that I have to meet Macy. I reached home and found no one there. I was very hungry, so I immediately rushed to the kitchen to get something to eat, but I found nothing, and finally ended up eating cornflakes with milk. I was tired with too many lectures that day. Then I went to my room, freshened up, and jumped straight to the bed to sleep. After some time, my mobile phone started ringing. I received a call, and guess who it was talking on the other side? "Hey, I'm Macy's brother. You were supposed to visit the hospital today. Macy was waiting for you." "Hospital?" I exclaimed. "You didn't tell me she was in a hospital. You just told me she was sick." Oh gosh, that was unpredictable behavior of mine. Her brother got angry at me and disconnected the call. I kept wondering, when did he say Macy was in the hospital? And then, my home doorbell rang. I went to the door and opened it. My parents were there. As soon as they entered, my mom asked me, "What's for dinner?" I shockingly asked her, "Come again?" My mom said I told her this morning about arranging dinner for tonight. I told her, "Mom, I don't remember you telling me all of this." She said yes, she told me to arrange dinner before we come. I quietly rushed to my room, took my phone, and ordered ravioli and pasta for all of us. Then I sat on my bed worried and was thinking about what was happening since this morning. Why don't I remember anything? Then my mom came to my room and asked me why I was looking so tense. I told her everything that was happening since this morning. I also said that I should go to the doctor for a checkup, but my mom was against my decision. She exclaimed that I was fine. No need to visit a doctor. The next day in the school library, my crush Jackson came and asked me, "Let's meet today and go on a date." That moment, I was feeling so wonderful, as if I was flying in the sky. She asked me to meet her at 6 p.m. outside the school gate, and she went. I continued studying, and around 5 p.m. I got a call from my mom. That was, in fact, a reminder call. I had asked her to call me and remind me that I have to visit Macy at the hospital. I was wrapped up in everything and rushed there. I reached the hospital at around 5:45 p.m. and met Macy. She was so happy to see me. She kept on talking and she was telling me about her sickness and the experiences from the past few days. And after some time, my mobile phone rang. Yes, Jackson was on the call. I received the call and asked her, why was she calling me? Jackson got angry on the phone. She shouted, "Are you nuts? You were supposed to meet me at 6 p.m. to go out." And then I questioned her back. Is it? Whoa, such a terrible thing had happened, and it was because of me. I didn't know what was happening to me. Why don't I remember anything? Nowadays, I seem to be fine and rarely forget stuff, but at that time, that habit was so frequent. If you have any idea what might be wrong with me, share your answer in the comment section below. Also, if you liked my story, then share it with your family and friends. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and press the bell icon for more updates.